Bonjour, French 2 students. This is Mrs. Kremschroeder with your teaching video for lesson 23A. Pages 330 to 332 in your textbook. S'il vous plaît, ouvrez vos livres à la page 330. Leçon 23, l'alibi. Êtes-vous bon détective? Pouvez-vous trouver la solution du mystère suivant? Samedi dernier, à 2 heures de l'après-midi, il y a eu une panne d'électricité dans la petite ville de Marcillac-le-Château. La panne a duré 1 heure. Pendant la panne, un cambrioleur a pénétré dans la banque populaire de Marcillac-le-Château. Bien sûr, l'alarme n'a pas fonctionné et c'est seulement lundi matin que le directeur de la banque a remarqué le cambriolage. 1 million d'euros. Lundi après-midi, l'inspecteur, le flic, a interrogé 4 suspects, mais chacun a un alibi. Sophie Filou. Excusez-moi, monsieur l'inspecteur, ma mémoire n'est pas très bonne. Voyons, qu'est-ce que j'ai fait samedi après-midi? Ah oui, j'ai fini un livre. Le titre du livre? Le crime ne paie pas. Marc, la roulette. Qu'est-ce que j'ai fait samedi? J'ai rendu visite à mes copains. Nous avons joué aux cartes. C'est moi qui ai gagné. Patrick l'escroc. Voyons, samedi dernier. Ah oui, cet après-midi-là, j'ai invité des amis chez moi. Nous avons regardé la télé. Nous avons vu le match de foot France-Allemagne. Quel match? Malheureusement, c'est la France qui a perdu. Dommage. Pauline Malin. Ce n'est pas moi, monsieur l'inspecteur. Samedi, j'ai fait un pique-nique à la campagne avec une copine. Nous avons choisi un coin près d'une rivière. Ensuite, nous avons fait une promenade à vélo. Nous avons eu de la chance. Il a fait un temps extraordinaire. Lisez attentivement les 4 déclarations. À votre avis, qui est le cambrioleur ou la cambrioleuse? Pourquoi? Vous pouvez comparer votre réponse avec la réponse de l'inspecteur à la page 337. So, working through the translation, right? The alibi. Are you a good detective? Can you find the solution to the following mystery? Last Saturday at 2 in the afternoon, there was a power failure in the small town of Marcillac-le-Château. The power failure lasted 1 hour. During the power failure, a burglar entered in the popular bank of Marcillac-le-Château. Of course, the alarm was not functioning, and it was only Monday morning that the bank director noticed the burglary. €1 million. Monday afternoon, Inspector Le Flic interrogated 4 suspects, but each one has an alibi. Sophie Filou. Oh, excuse me, Mr. Inspector. My memory is not very good. Let's see. What did I do Saturday afternoon? Oh, yes, I finished a book. The title of the book? Crime Does Not Pay. Marc la roulette. What did I do Saturday? I visited my friends. We played cards. It's me who won. Patrick l'escroc. Let's see. Last Saturday, Oh, yes. That afternoon there, I invited some friends to my house. We watched TV. We watched the soccer game between France and Germany. What a game. Unfortunately, it's France who lost. Too bad. Pauline Malin. It's not me, Mr. Inspector. Saturday, I had a picnic in the countryside with a female friend. We chose a spot near a river. Then we went for a bike ride. We were lucky. The weather was great. Carefully read the 4 declarations. In your opinion, who is the burglar? Why? You can compare your response with the response of the inspector on page 337. So, was it Sophie? Was it Mark? Was it Patrick? Was it Pauline? Okay, la réponse d'inspecteur. C'est Patrick Lescaut, le cambrioleur. Samedi après-midi, il y a eu une panne d'électricité. Patrick Lescaut n'a pas pu regarder la télé. Son alibi n'est pas valable. So it's Patrick Lescaut who's the burglar. Saturday afternoon, there was a power outage. Patrick Lescaut was not able to watch TV. His alibi is not valid. So hopefully you correctly determined who the burglar was. All right, no culturel. Les gens français et la télé. So young French people and television. Combien d'heures par jour est-ce que tu regardes la télé? 1 heure, 2 heures, 3 heures, plus, moins. En général, les gens français regardent la télé moins souvent et moins longtemps que les gens américains. En moyenne, 1h15 les jours d'école et 2h15 les autres jours, mercredi, samedi et dimanche. Dans beaucoup de familles, les parents contrôlent l'usage de la télé. Souvent, ils exigent que leurs enfants finissent leurs devoirs avant de regarder la télé. Ainsi, beaucoup de gens regardent la télé seulement après le dîner. Quels sont leurs programmes favoris? Les gens français aiment surtout les films, les programmes de sport, les variétés et les jeux télévisés, comme Qui veut gagner des millions. Les séries américaines sont aussi très populaires. So, how many hours per day do you watch TV? 1 hour? 2 hours? 3 hours? More? Less? In general, young French people watch TV less often and for a shorter time than young Americans. On an average of 1 hour and 15 minutes school days and 2 hours and 15 minutes other days, Wednesdays, Saturdays, and Sundays. In a lot of families, the parents control the use of the television. Oftentimes, they insist that their children finish their homework before watching TV. Thus, a lot of young people watch TV only after dinner. What are their favorite programs? Young French people especially like movies, sports programs, variety shows, and game shows like Who Wants to Win Millions or Who Wants to Be a Millionaire. American series are also very popular. Okay. So again, we've kind of talked about this before, that typically in France, the primary job of French students is to do well in school. So their parents expect them typically to have their work completed, okay, before they're allowed to watch television. So we get a little break from the passé composé here because we're going to learn the present tense forms of le verbe voir. The verb voir, to see, is irregular. Note the forms of voir in the present tense. So I would suggest that you write some notes, right, with the forms of the verb voir in it. Okay. Not doing so well with my drawing. There we go. Kind of took out the T, but okay. Notice it's irregular. Remember that means that it's a verb you need to memorize. Okay. So definitely a verb that you should put on some notes that you're taking for class. S'il vous plaît, répétez voir. Voir. Je vois. Je vois. Tu vois. Tu vois. On voit. On voit. Nous voyons. Nous voyons. Vous voyez. Vous voyez. Il voit. Il voit. So sometimes this verb is considered a boot verb because notice that our I kind of stays an I in these forms and becomes a Y in our nous and our vous forms. So there's some similarity here. Again, our three singular forms all sound the same because they only differ in spelling by the last letter. And remember, in French, we typically don't pronounce those last letters. So, s'il vous plaît, répétez voir. Je vois Marc. Tu vois ton copain. On voit un accident. Nous voyons un film. Vous voyez un match de baseball. Elle voit le professeur. Working through the translation, right? I see Mark. You see your friend. He, she, or one sees an accident. We see a movie. You see a baseball game. They see the teacher. Okay, so this is an irregular verb. This is the present tense forms of the verb. And again, it's definitely one that you should put in your notes. So taking a look at exercice 1, au week-end à Paris. Les personnes suivantes passent le week-end à Paris. Décrivez ce que chacun voit. So, weekend in Paris. The following people spend the weekend in Paris. Describe what each sees. So, we see Olivier and we see Notre Dame. So, our sentence becomes Olivier voit Notre Dame. So realistically, the only part of this that is changing is our form of the verb voir. So again, remember our forms of the verb voir. Je vois. Tu vois. Il or elle voit. Nous voyons. Vous voyez. And il or elle voit. So again, I'd like this one to be a speaking one where you are going to say the sentence and then you will hear me say the sentence so that you can confirm whether or not you said it correctly. So numéro 1, we have nous and le Musée d'Orsay, which is by far my favorite museum in Paris. Nous voyons le Musée d'Orsay. De, toi, l'Arc de Triomphe. Remember, you're not going to start a sentence with toi. Tu vois l'Arc de Triomphe. Toi, moi, and le Centre Pompidou. And again, remember, you're not going to start a sentence with moi. Je vois le Centre Pompidou. 4. Sophie, le quartier latin. Sophie voit le quartier latin. 5. Vous and la pyramide du Louvre. Vous voyez la pyramide du Louvre. 6. Les touristes japonais and le musée Picasso. Les touristes japonais voient le musée Picasso. So, pretty short little lesson today. Just learning the irregular verb voir in the present tense. So getting a little break from the passé composé today. We'll return to the passé composé tomorrow. So your homework tonight is on page 332. You're doing exercise number 1. We just did this one out loud. Remember, okay, the name they give you is going to be the subject of your sentence. The place they give you is going to be at the end of your sentence. And all that you are doing is putting your correct conjugation of the verb voir here. Okay? So please write out those complete sentences. Au revoir. À demain.